Then you're going to be working on this one, and you want a 18 millimeter wrench. Just bust it loose. Hey, Okie Tools here, and this is my video review of the TEKTON long pattern metric combination wrench set. This is the 10-piece. I got these off of Amazon, and they cost me about $25, and I used a gift certificate that my family gave me for Christmas to get them. So I thought, what the hell, didn't cost me anything, so I went ahead and picked them up. And I had been looking for some long pattern combination wrenches to go with my standard Craftsman length combination wrenches, metric wrenches. So I figured I'd give these a try, and I've been pleasantly surprised with how they've held up for me. And this particular set was made in India. I know some of them are made in Taiwan and maybe even China, but these ones that I got, according to the packaging, were made in India. It was kind of surprising to me. I thought they were going to be made in Taiwan. I think Amazon even said they were going to be made in Taiwan, but no big deal. Just some of my thoughts right out of the packaging when I looked at them was that they're fairly well finished in the most places, like the open end through the beam and stuff like that. But the box end, inside the box end, which is usually a place that some manufacturers have an issue with, it could have been a little bit better on the finish. It has the TEKTON name just kind of rolled on there or something, but it's not really a stamping or anything. The numbers for the size, and then the chrome vanadium, which these are chrome vanadium, CRV on these, and then some of the bigger wrenches actually say chrome vanadium written out on them in the stamping. And so all the kind of, even the cheap stuffs now is made out of CRV. But I just wanted to get these because I have another one that's carbon steel, I believe they make it out of, so I just wanted to get these instead of that one. But the finish where the stampings are for the numbers, CRV, it seems like those were done after it was chrome, so a little cheapy there. But it's not really a big deal because these are supposed to be user wrenches. I use these on a number of projects since I've had them for over a year. They've worked real well for me. Hadn't had any issues with them, and it's been nice to have the extra length that they give you. And I've got a couple other wrenches here to give some comparisons between them, just so you get an idea of how they are. I got a Mac here, a Snap-on, an SK, a Craftsman, and some gear wrenches. So just to I did a shot of video, I think, of how well they get into tight spots. The box ends on them are real nice and small, and the open ends on them are real nice and small. And I found that out when I was doing the brakes on my Town and Country. I was needing a 13 millimeter that could go in between the bolt and the brake caliper on the pins, and just to help tighten one up. And I went and got my Craftsman 13 millimeter wrench, and it wouldn't even go in between there. So I ran and got this one, and this one is just ever so slightly, maybe a millimeter and a half, not much at all, but ever so slightly smaller than this Craftsman open end wrench. And on the box ends, they look about the same between it and the Craftsman. The Craftsman is definitely thicker in the beam, especially where the raised panels are. So doing that job, it was nice to have a thinner profile wrench, and also the fact that it was much longer than the Craftsman, so that was very helpful in doing that job. So as far as that one in comparison to Craftsman raised panel wrench, the TEKTONs are a lot nicer in having that extra length and having that lower profile. Now, in comparison to, say, something like my SK 19 millimeter, and this is a long pattern, SK 19 millimeter, and you get out the 19 millimeter from the TEKTON, and you can see it's already longer than the SK. And as far as their box ends go, I think they are, the SK is just a little bit bigger in the box end, maybe close to the same. In the beam, I think they're about the same, but the SK is a bit more boxy and the TEKTON is a bit more rounded. In the open end, for sure, you can see by looking at that the SK is quite a bit thicker in that area, and the TEKTON is quite a bit thinner. That may become like, that could be a bad thing, but it could be a good thing, you know, having that low profile and able to get into tight spots. But you got to question about what the strength in that lower profile area might be. As far as the rest of the open ends, the SK and it are about the same, but when it comes to this profile, the SK is definitely thicker, even more so than the Craftsman raise panel was. But I will tell you this, I absolutely love this SK wrench, this 19 millimeter, and I'm definitely going to go to it before I actually go to that TEKTON. My Mac double box in long pattern, comparison to the 12 millimeter or the 14 millimeter, it is definitely longer. You're going to get a lot more leverage, and I really like that about it, and the fact that it still can fit into those tight spots even. So I got the 10 millimeter here, and the Mac is just a little bit more than that 10 millimeter. So smaller on the Mac is smaller on the 14, but on the 10 it's just a little bit more. And you can just compare it and the Mac. On the size, the Mac is a lot more boxy. I'd say they're probably about the same thickness in the beam. You know, can't compare an open end to a box end. So got the gear wrenches, and these kind of isn't a fair comparison because it's much larger down on this end. In comparison, this is both 14 millimeters because of the ratcheting box end. But on the open ends, the gear wrench is just massive, and of course it's made in China. It's almost 1.5 times the same thickness as the TEKTON. Now here's one of their LX long profiles, and just kind of comparing them in length, you can see the TEKTON is still a little bit longer, and this one's made in Taiwan, and it's still a little bit bigger than the TEKTON. So as you can kind of see, just in comparison to all these different wrenches, here's my snap-on. This is just a 1/2 inch, but it's a long pattern that's comparable to a 13 millimeter, somewhere between a 12 and a 13. You can see the snap-on is just a little bit longer, and on the box ends, they are pretty close to each other. The snap-on may just be a little bit thicker in the beam. As far as the open ends, the snap-on is definitely smaller. It's not as much material as on the TEKTON, which means you're going to be able to get into a much tighter location with it, possibly. And they're about the same on the open ends, maybe just a little bit more on the snap-on. But that was just a comparison to kind of show you their dimensions, because Asian wrenches usually are fairly larger because of the weakness of the materials and the steel that they make them out of. So I mean, it really is nice that these are a lot more lower profile and a lot thinner in a lot of dimensions. And I'm not 100% certain about the steel composition, obviously, coming out of India like that. I would not put it anywhere up next to, you know, a Snap-on or a Mac or an SK. It's just a comparison of the dimensions and how you may be able to get into a little bit tighter spot than some of these others, or they may even match up to the dimensions and the ability to get into tight locations as some that are going to be substantially more expensive. I think that wrench right there costs twice what this entire set does. So I've just been pleasantly surprised. They have held up real well for me, and there's been a lot of jobs that they've kind of, you know, like on that brake job where they've kind of saved my bacon, going in there into a tight location that I couldn't quite get this one into, and this open end into, and they've just been real helpful. And I'm gonna probably grab other ones to do jobs that I want to get done, but these are good go-tos, and I do recommend them. And this carrier, didn't mention that before, but this carrier is also made by them, made by TEKTON, and or for TEKTON. I believe it's made in the U.S. and I love these things. I want to get as many of these as I can. They don't cost a lot, and they're just great. I really like it. It keeps them in order. This is the 11 slot. I think they make them in a couple other styles as well, like 11 and 13 and 15. They're all in, and there's a 9, a slot 1. They're all in uneven numbers. Yeah, I like that a lot, and it's nice to be able to just take it out and go wherever you need to, and then it just stores real nice and compact in the toolbox too. So I recommend, I had to get this separate. I think some of the sets that you can buy do come with it, but mine didn't. But I recommend, if you're going to get these, or you're going to get any wrenches, you know, any of them, I recommend getting one of these holders for them as well from TEKTON. So that's my video review on the TEKTON long pattern combination, metric combination wrenches.